Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MtG Traders. My name is Taryn, and this is Boros Aggro for Dominaria Standard. So after a lot of tweaking, I kind of finally decided on a Boros Aggro list, and that is what this is right here. But before I get into it, make sure to like the video if you like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell to notify you when we upload a new video on the channel. It really does help us grow and help keep the content going. So let's get right into the deck, guys, starting with the creatures. And first up, we've got a familiar face. It's Boros Courier, Rigging Runner, Adorned Pouncer, Earthshaker Kinra, and Karizev Skyship Raider. So 4, 3, 4, 4, and 3. Rigging Runner is really good in the early game, but not so much in the mid to late game. That's when there's only 3. And Karizev, while it is very, very good, is not as good as, say, Kinra, which is good in the mid to late game, and Adorned Pouncer, which is good in the mid to late game as well. Boros Courier, though, is just good throughout the entire match to refill our hand. A 1-1 attacker with haste, a 1-1 first striker that becomes a 2-2 first striker if we attack with a creature this turn, a 1-1 double striker that can come back as a 4-4 double striker, which is ridiculous, and then a 2-1 that makes something that has an equal power, unable to block for the turn, and then comes back as a 4-4 with haste as well, and then a 1-3 that makes a 2-1 attacking out whenever it attacks out with first strike and menace. So if you haven't noticed yet, we're going over a first strike and kind of double strikey deck list here. Moving on to some more heavy hitters in the deck list for creatures, we have 4 Goblin Chain Whirler, 3 Quindi Pride of Femeref, is that how you pronounce it, and 1 Lyra Dawnbringer or Lyra Dawnbringer, however you want to pronounce that. Chain Whirler is ridiculous, probably one of the best red cards right now in the format. Very, very good card overall. Quindi, I really wanted to incorporate this into a list, and I think this is the perfect one for it. Double strike, creatures you control with first strike have double strike, so turning Chain Whirler into a 3-3 double striker is ridiculous, and turning our Rigging Runner into a 2-2 first striker, or into a double striker, is also very good. That's why the Rigging Runner is actually here too, so it's very good at early game damage, but very, very good if we get Quindi onto the battlefield. Lyra Dawnbringer is another card that can actually do 10 points of damage because it too has first strike, flying, first strike, lifelink, and of course other angels you control get +1/+1, but we don't have any other angels in the field. It is 5 mana though, so that's going to be your giant bomb swinging in for 10 points of double strike, lifelink damage if we have Quindi on the battlefield. Super impactful, super powerful, but let's get on to the spells here and see what else we're working with. Basically just removal here. Lightning Strike, Path of Metal, and Seal Away. A Lightning Strike a 4 of, Path of Metal a 4 of, and Seal Away a 3 of. Seal Away is a card you might board out depending on if you're going up against the History of Benalia decks, because those are 2-2 Vigilance creatures. Path of Metal, though, very, very good against a token-based creature strategy or something like that. A 2-mana legendary enchantment. When it enters a battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each creature that doesn't have first strike, double strike, or vigilance, or haste. Whenever you attack with at least 2 creatures that have all those things, transform Path of Metal, turns it into a land, gives us any color mana as we need. We can pay 2 and tap it. It deals 2 damage to each opponent, which is very nice. We can also pay 2 with white and tap it, and it actually chooses a random creature that attacked this turn and destroys that creature. So if your opponent is attacking out with a single creature and we have a flipped Path of Metal, it actually destroys that creature for us, which is nice. There are actually a lot of times where an opponent will not realize this and just sacrifice their creature if you have 3 mana up. Besides that, those Lightning Strike can hit our opponent to the face, a creature, or a planeswalker for 3 points of damage. Seal Away gets rid of creatures that are coming at us on turn 2 and 3. And yeah, that's basically it for the spells here as far as removal. Let's get into the land base here. 6 plains, 7 mountain, 4 inspiring vantage, 4 clifftop retreat, 1 scavenger grounds, and 1 field of ruins. So we might want to put in another scavenger grounds thanks to all the reanimation stuff, thanks to blue-black control going on right now. Maybe take out 1 mountain and putting in another scavenger grounds. Kind of up to you guys if you want to do that. But I do like the land base overall for this deck list. I think it's very nice. And of course, field of ruin if we need to get into another red or another white, depending on if we're going for a Lyra Dawnbringer or a Goblin Chain Whirler. But that is a full 60. Kind of ran through that really quickly. Hope you guys didn't mind that. Trying to not read cards as much unless it's a key card for the deck here. But let's get into the sideboard here and kind of go over that really quickly. Starting with our Sandra's Defeat, Abrade, Settle the Wreckage, and Glorybringer. All these cards are for the aggro strategy and tempo-based strategy. Kind of shutting down aggro with the Abrade as well as Settle the Wreckage. Abrade also coming in to shut down a Godfrey's Gift strategy, Heart of Kirin, things like that, because it can destroy artifacts. Sandra's Defeat here is to kind of basically kill another Chain Whirler or a Glorybringer or a Rekindling Phoenix, something like that. Of course, it can kill a Chandra Planeswalker as well. Super good as well. And if we do get to destroy a Chandra Planeswalker, we may discard a card and draw a card, so we actually get to kind of shuffle through outdo our deck a little bit, which is nice too. Going on to the next set of sideboard cards here, we have Aerial Responder, Invoke the Divine, and Cast Out. 2, 2, and 2 responders here because we want to have Aether Harvester in the deck list, but I do like the responder as well because it comes in and can attack out the following turn very nicely with Vigilance flying, because the Vigilance, of course, is why it's in here for the Path of Metal flip. Invoke the Divine is here to destroy an artifact or an enchantment like a Seal Away or History of Benalia. It also gains its life as well, which is very, very good. Does not exile, just destroy. For some reason, I said exile in a couple of videos back. Meant to say just destroy. And 2 Cast Out here to kind of grab a Teferi, a Scarab God, or just a Chandra Torch of Defiance, something like that in the actual deck list that we don't like on the battlefield. But that is the full 75, folks. Let's go to the deck list here. On MTGO Traders, if you want to build this online, it is 60 tickets, and if you want to build this in paper, it's $155. The pricey cards for MTGO are, of course, Bomat Courier, Kari Zev's Skyship Raider, Lyra Dawnbringer, and Settle the Wreckage in the sideboard there. If you want to build this in paper, the most expensive cards are, again, Lyra Dawnbringer, Goblin Chainwhirler coming up there in price, Earthshaker Kinra, and again, Settle the Wreckage in the sideboard. Alright guys, I recorded some matches, and let's get right into it and see what we can do with this Boros Aggro list. So, game 1, we've got a pretty decent hand here. We just kind of go on the play. We're going to go with a Inspiring Advantage, go with a Bomat Courier, get a card underneath that, and then just pass the turn. They're on blue-green, so we're just going to go with a crash in here and do Rigging Runner on the main phase 2 for that nice raid trigger, making it a 2/2 first striker. Keep in mind, this is a deck all about trying to make sure we get those first strike triggers out for that Path of Middle to hit. So they just lay a land and pass again. We're going to go with another Mountain Drop here, go for an Earthshaker Kinra, seeing that they're totally open, so we're just going to get in for, let's see, 5 points of damage there. Math is weird. Then pass the turn back to them. And next turn, we're going for probably a Quinde, making sure that Ruin Raider, or Rigging Runner, not Ruin Raider, Rigging Runner is going to be a 4/4. They just lay out a Wayward Swordtooth, which cannot block. They play a Hajep Oasis. We pass. We draw into a Lyra Dawnbringer, and just play out a Quinde and attack in for, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of damage, dropping them down to 6. And then next turn, see what they can do. Looks like they're not going to draw anything, I don't think. Yeah, draw into an Ipni Rivulet. Try to play out something more important here. Looks like an Hour of Promise, going for some deserts, making some 2/2s here. We're getting also the City's Blessing, making sure the Wayward Swordtooth is online. We play a land and just crash in, but we also play Lyra Dawnbringer first, making it a 10/10 double striker lifelinker. We swing in for 4 and 2, wanting to see if they want to trade with that Earthshaker Kinra to see if it goes into the graveyard. So because if we hit another land, we can actually recast that from the graveyard. They instead go with a block there with the Wayward Swordtooth, blocking the Ruin Raider. And let's see what they go for this next turn. Looks like they definitely need a removal spell here for the Lyra Dawnbringer. They get into a Champion Wits, and then that's the game. Let's get into some more sideboard stuff here. So they're a little bit more of an aggressive strategy, so we bring in Settle the Wreckage. We're going to take out probably some Seal Aways here, thanks to some Vigilance stuff. Bring in a Cast Out instead. Take out one Settle, bring in Glorybringer, because we really like that in this particular matchup. And looking for some other stuff to take out. Maybe take out one Kinra, maybe take out one Abrade, or one more Kinra, sorry. Actually, we put Kinra back in. There we go. Sorry. Taking out a Glorybringer and taking out a Lightning Strike to kind of make sure we have a full 60. Now we go into game 2 here. Let's see, 2 lands in the opening hand with a Bomat Courier. Most of the time, if I have one land with a Courier, I'm going to be okay. We actually get into a 3rd land here with the Courier. Getting in, they play a tap land, we get a Courier out, get a card underneath it, and pass turn. They play a 2nd land, and they go for a Llanowar Elf. Since we have the Chainwhirlers in our hand, they go for 2 Llanowar Elves. Since we have Chainwhirlers in hand, we really want to play the 2nd mountain there to see if we can get into a 3rd mountain soon enough to just kill their entire board state. We're going to pass turn, though, because we don't want the Courier to die to a 1 block on there. So they're going to go for a Tatyova. We don't want Tatyova to go off, so we go with a Lightning Strike directly on Tatyova as soon as possible. Then we crash in for 4 points of damage here, thanks to the Kari Zev with the 3 and Bomat Courier with the 1, getting a card underneath it once again, exiling that token, and then passing the turn back to them. Let's see if they have a land drop here. They do, and then they have let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana if they need it. Looks like they're going to go for another Hour of Promise here, grabbing 2 deserts, getting 2 2s as well. So, and also cracking in for 1 point of damage. If we get into a red land here, we're going to do lots of damage. We do, and we get into a Goblin Chainwhirler, destroying their entire board state, with the exception of the zombies here. But they do have 1 point of damage, so we're just going to crash in with the Kari Zev. They're going to block with the zombie there. the monkey, and then just pass the turn back to them. I don't know why they didn't block with the carry Zev, the double block, but I guess they just didn't want to do that. They're down to 13 already. They go with the compass, play that, get some more lands into their hand. They only have one card in hand, now two, thanks to that island being thrown into their hand. And then they just pass the turn back to us. And we're just probably going to go with another, compass there, flipping, nice. And then we're going to go with the land here, and then just go with another Boros Courier, and then Goblin Chainwhirler again, and then just start swinging in like crazy because we're monsters. And yeah, it looks like it's just going to be lots of damage towards their face. So we don't swing in with the courier with the two cards underneath it because we want to make sure we can have those maybe into the mid to late game if they have like a board wipe or something like that, if they get into some random like red mana or something like that, or even a River's Rebuke. We don't want that happening at all either. They block the monkey once again, and they go down another couple points. They're down to 7 here. And next turn, let's see what they draw into. 3 cards in hand for them. And looks like it might be game. Let's see here. Yep, it is game, and that's going to do it. Nice 2-0. Let's go into match 2 here and see what we can do in match 2. Really like the first match with this deck list for sure. Really love the Boros list here, especially with the Path of Metal and First Strike stuff going on. So we keep a land-heavy hand, but we have Boros Courier, so we're doing pretty good. Get into some lands, or cards underneath the card, or Boros Courier itself. Lay a tap land, go for another land here, which is the Clifftop Retreat, and then just swing in again. Get into a Goblin Chainwhirler, which means that we will have the 3rd land drop on turn 3, killing if they have any kind of 1/1s coming in the following turn. They play another tap land, and then they just pass the turn back to us again, which is nice. We just play out a land here, and then get out another Boros Courier and just swing in for 2 points, getting a possible 4 cards underneath both of the couriers here. Kind of expecting a Fatal Push at this point, but still not seeing it at all. Another land here, Field of Ruin, passing it back to us. No basic lands from them at all, but they do have an upkeep Field of Ruin destroying our Clifftop Retreat. We're just going to go grab a Mountain because we really want that extra mana for the Goblin Chainwhirler. Swinging back in for 2 again, dropping them down to 14. 2 more cards underneath the couriers. At this point, they're basically milling us. And then they go for a Champion of Wits here. So at this point, I should have just waited for the Goblin Chainwhirler, but I went for a Lightning Strike instead because I'm a dum-dum. So instead, we did that, and this turn, we're still going to play out a Goblin Chainwhirler to a empty board state on main phase 2. We still do 2 points of damage here, getting more cards underneath the courier, but doing this because we have enough cards underneath the courier to make it worth it to sacrifice to nothing if we need to. And yeah, they play another land, we pass. We're kind of looking for a Settle the Wreckage this turn, so we're going to play out a Carry Zev and saying, okay, well, what if they do settle, then we're just going to get rid of both of the cards out of our hand. We swing in there, they're going to go with a probably settle this turn, let's see here. And yep, there's a 4 mana drop. There's a Wrath, whoa, that's kind of out of left field. Got a 3/3 flyer here, they're going to block one of them. We're going to tap that, sacrifice it, and then just Lightning Strike that Wrath on the main, or actually on the stack there, and just get it off their field. So was kind of expecting to settle the Wreckage there, but did not get it at all, so that's good for us. But they get into there, and yeah, that's it for the game 1. So let's get into the sideboard game plan here and see what we can do. We bring in some probably Glorybringers, maybe taking out some Seal Aways, thinking that might not be as useful. Cast Out's a little bit better because we think it might be more of a Planeswalker base, and we bring in a Glorybringer for that extra pizzazz. 3 land hand with Adorned Pouncer and Couriers with Bringing Runner. Tap land from an opponent, going for a Plains here, going for a Courier and attacking out again. Again, Clifftop Retreat would have been untapped, or tapped rather, if we didn't play the basic land first, or going for that, and then going for a Rigging Runner on the main phase 2 here, getting a nice 2/2 first striker, and then passing turn back to them once more. They have a 3rd land drop. Field of Ruin once again. They have no basic lands in this entire deck list. They have a Champion of Wits. We're going to go with the land here and go Path of Metal, killing that Champion of Wits. And then just crashing in for 3 points of damage once again, flipping that Path of Metal actually. And then using it for either a Lightning Strike or a Adorned Pouncer if we want to, either way. Whatever we want to do. We're going to actually hold up the Lightning Strike here. They play a land and pass. We're just going to swing back in for 3 again and see if we get another card underneath the courier. We do. Kind of expecting a Settle the Wreckage or something this turn at all. We don't really see it either. We go, okay, well, we're just going to go into main phase 2 here and play out our land, play out a Quindy because that's a lot of damage for us. And our opponent actually plays a Wrath here, which is actually not bad either. They're going to go to their turn here, lay another land. It's going to be a tap land. Again, no basic lands in their entire deck list. Don't know what's going on there. They go for a block here. We just go for a straight up Lightning Strike on the Wrath here and go for an attack, trying to see if we can get through another Settle the Wreckage, just kind of testing our luck here. But sadly, I think that they actually go for a Settle the Wreckage here. They do, yes. And so we just go with the Boros Courier, discard everything. We have 2 Adorned Pouncers in the graveyard, which is nice for us. Very, very nice. And I just play out the 2 other Couriers that we got into thanks to the Courier we played. They lay a land, and it looks like they're going to go for a tap here, tap 4, tap 5. Scarab God, what? Not bad. Going for a Mountain here. Then we just go for an Adorned Pouncer Reanimation because we don't want to have them get anything from our graveyard as well. We crash in for 2 points for the Couriers here, trying to get some different cards in our hand. They block one of them. We, of course, sacrifice it. get a Quinde, and then immediately crack our Scavenger Ground so they have no targets for that Scarab God to get into, which is super, super nice and super dirty. So they basically just have a 5/5 that does nothing with no graveyard. So 3 cards in hand from opponent. They're tapping out here to go for a Vraska's Contempt onto our 4/4 Double Striker. They crash in for 5. We have an Earthshaker Kinder with a Quinde, so not bad at all. We just play out our entire hand and just kind of crash in for 3 points of damage, dropping them down to 10. Probably going to use a Bomat Courier pretty soon to get some cards back into our hand. And we also have, of course, that flipped Path of Metal to make sure that we actually have some more damage we can put onto the stack if we need it. They're tapping out for 5 here, going for a if near dead lands on the Quinde, killing that, making sure that nothing that has first strike gets into a double strike situation. Quinde can also come back into their board state as well. Go for a Goblin Chainwheeler for us, doing another point of damage to their face, and then just swinging out like a madman here, hoping that they block with the Bomat Courier so we can get those. But they actually block the Earthshaker Kinra because they want to have that onto their battlefield because we can't reanimate it. So they go for that as well. Super nice for them because we do give them that play there. But, you know, they're at 8 points of damage. We have the, Path of Metal here to burn them for 2, down to 6. Draw into another Earthshaker Kinder for us because we have nothing but gas. And then, you can't block anything on their side of the field or make them not block. And then we just go into our combat phase here and just probably attack out with just the Courier here, getting 4 cards underneath, eventually sacking it, having a cast out in our hand if we need it. But for now, we're just going to go for another Chain Whirler and take them down to 5 past turn here. Now, we can't go for a cast out on the following turn if they tap out with something crazy. Ooh, Dovin Bond here. Very nice. So they go for this. They gain 2 life and draw a card. Very nice. Going up to 7 here. And 3 more mana going for a Champion of Wit. So they have lots of stuff on the battlefield now to really help them out. We just pass turn, draw into an Inspiring Vantage. We have enough mana to actually do Goblin Chainwheeler and the cast out both. So we go Chainwheeler first, killing that Champion of Wits. And then we just go for a cast out directed towards that Scarab God there, making sure that they can't reanimate anything else from the graveyard. Very nice as well. They have 6 life right now, so we're just going to crash in directly against them and see if they want to, block with that Courier. They will. They're going to block the 3/3 and then take another 3, go down to 3. And of course, we have the Path of Metal there to burn them for the rest of the 3 points of damage. It only does 2 points as well. Yawgmoth's offering, though, very interesting. They bring out the 2/2 First Strike Vigilance here. They gain another 2 life with the Dovin Bond. They play a land, 2 cards in hand. They pass turn. We're going to draw into a Quinde here. And then just say, okay, well, we got a lot of First Strikers that are now Double Strikers that are doing 6 points of damage. So let's say we just swing with everybody. Sounds pretty good, right? And then that's it. That's a game. And that is it for the match 2 there. Let's get into match 3. This is against the Mono Black Aggro list that I kind of run up against. Really like this this actual match here because we actually go 3 games instead of 2. But yeah, had to mulligan twice. Got into a nice land on the top. We're going to bottom that though. They go for a black mana there. We're going to go for an Inspiring Vantage and just pass turn. They go for another land. We go for a Adorned Pouncer since we didn't have a turn 1 play and pass turn again. A lot of the stuff for Adorned Pouncer and Earthshaker Kinder just great reanimation. They go for a Yahini. There we go, Yahini dying again. They're trading with that. We're going to go for another Adorned Pouncer here because we love Adorned Pouncer on the play since it is a 2/2 and it comes back as a 4/4 Double Striker for only 5 mana. They go for a Dreadshade. We're going to go for Earthshaker Kinra and then probably swing out here. Probably not. We're going to go for another Earthshaker Kinra actually and then just swing out like a madman. They're going to block, I would say, the Earthshaker Kinra there. Yep, because the animation is a lot cheaper on the Adorned Pouncer. 1 mana cheaper. So they're going to say, okay, we're going to go for another Dreadshade. We're going to go for a Clifftop Retreat and then just reanimate. Actually, not reanimate. We're going to go for a Chain Whirler. Sorry about that. Because we can trade if we want to with those creatures. They're not going to do that. We're just going to take the damage, or they're going to take the damage. Let's say Dreadshade crashing in against us. We're going to block it here. They're still going to pump it, which is fine, but that does mean that they have less options to play the following turn, so that's not bad for us at all. They play out here a Gifted Aetherborn, going for Inspiring Vantage. We're going to reanimate an Adorned Pouncer here. And not just do anything this turn, I'm just going to go with a pass. 11 life on their hand, or in their life points. I'll never hear from them killing the Double Striker. And then Lightning Strike off the top for us. We're going to go for a Earthshaker Kinder, making it a 4/4. Now, we can make sure it can actually not block with the Gifted Aetherborn. And we're just going to pass here because we don't want to die to those 4/4s that they actually can make. Return here, making a 2/2. Blocking, passing again. Path of Metal for us here. Now, we could go Lightning Strike onto a Dreadshade. Didn't really see that play until afterwards, but Gifted Aetherborn is a Death Toucher, so that is a nice play as well. We swing in here with everybody. They're still going to block with the Zombie here, and then they could have blocked with the Dreadshade as well, but we actually just do the Path of Metal and make sure they go down to 5 here. And next turn here, they go for lots of mana here, going for a 4 or 5 menace creature. They're going to go with a Field of Ruin, destroying the Cabal there, going for just a regular white mana, and then just swinging out with our 2s. And they're going to double block here, pumping them for some reason because even though we don't have anything in our hand, not really sure why they did that. We're just going to go with a reanimation on the Adorned Pouncer, making a 4/4 double striker once again. 4 cards in hand, dropping another land, up to 7 lands so far for our opponent, going for a Gonti, which is very nice. We have a top deck Lightning Strike, so we go Path of Metal and Lightning Strike, and that's going to end the first on game 1. And to the sideboard here, we take out Rigging Runner because it's not as good against those Dread Shades. Take out Path of Metal just for the same reason. Bring in Glory Bringers. Really love Settle the Wreckage as well as Cast Out. But I think we eventually pull in Abrade as well. Let's see here. Yeah, we actually pulled out Settle the Wreckage after the fact. 3 lands in hand. Lightning Strike, Adorned Pouncer, Chain Whirler, and Quindy going for a land and just passing. Land, pass. Turn 2 for opponent. Another land. We're going to go for an Adorned Pouncer because we have it. They eventually have, I believe, a Fatal Push. They're going to go for the Cabal here and tap into a, let's see, yeah, Never here. Not a Fatal Push, it's a Never. 3 lands here, we're going to pass. We still need that red mana. I don't know why I don't continue to play Field of Ruin, but I keep playing white mana here because I'm a dum-dum. But I go with the Quindy here because it has double strike, so it can block that zombie if we want to, because they do get to exile the Adorned Pouncer there. We're going to kill the Cabal here and make sure we have another red mana for the Goblin Chain Whirler. They're going to go with the Fatal Push because we had the Revolt trigger for them that turn. Then Helm of the Host is the card that kind of is out of nowhere for us. We're going to go with a Lightning Strike to their face, lay a land, and go with a Seal Away. Actually, Goblin Chain Whirler, and then a Seal Away there. Playing Argyle's Bloodfast, tapping out again, drawing some cards, losing some life. Draw into another Quindy, which is very, very nice. Getting in 6 points of damage, dropping them down to 8 here. We have 6 points of damage in our hand right now, so we could do this, but Yahini's Expertise just destroys our board state. So we're going to go with the Lightning Strike directly to the Yahini here. Cast Out is also here. We could use it on the Helm of the Host if we need to, but we're kind of saving it for a nice creature. Using another Lightning Strike for that Gonti here, trying to give Helm of the Host nothing to target for sure. And then they just lay some lands, drawing some cards again, and tapping out for another Yahini, the second Yahini of the match, I believe. Getting it for 2 points of damage, dropping us down to 15 or 16. But we go for a Cast Out on that Yahini. Again, trying to give Helm of the Host no targets to choose from. And then I just go with the Scavenger Grounds here. Pass turn once again. They go with a Liliana here, bringing back that Gonti. We go with the Karizev Skyship Raider. We should have saved that Cast Out for something else instead of the Yahini. Now they just go with a Helm of the Host onto Gonti. And this is where the match kind of goes south. They start making Gontis forever. Go with the Bomat Courier. We're going to swing out here, trying to get some value from the Courier here. Getting into a Seal Away, which is very nice, so if they do attack out with the equipped Helm of the Host, that's pretty cool, but again, Helm of the Host is an equipment. We can't really exile that unless we have a Cast Out again. They go for 2 attacks here, then play out a Liar Dawnbringer, and I'm like, yep, I've seen enough, let's go into game 3. So we're going to bring in probably some aerial responders to get around that. Quindy's going to come out as well. We also like Invoke the Divine, but not that much for this matchup. Let's bring in the Abrade here and some Settle the Wreckage. And actually just bring in the other Settle the Wreckage and then just call it the game. And let's get into game 3 here with a Inspiring Vantage, laying a land, another Inspiring Vantage, going for an Adorned Pouncer. Again, with the reanimation stuff here, it's really hard for the mono black aggro deck to get around it. So lots of removal against this, but if we have the mana, we can bring them back. So a Fatal Push, go to the first Adorned Pouncer, second Adorned Pouncer coming in, and then 3 more mana going for another Dread Shade. So we have a Clifftop Retreat here. Gonna go with a Earthshaker Kinder, making sure the Adorned Pouncer can't block. Then on the stack, we're just going to kill the Dread Shade with the Lightning Strike. Swing in for 4 points of damage. Very, very nice. Yahini coming in here, swing in for 2. We save that Lightning Strike and use Steal Away instead for a Yahini because we want to make sure we can, strike a Gonti or something if it comes down the battlefield. We swing in for 4 points of damage, drop them down to 12 once again. Get into the next turn, 4 mana drop, and then they play out, let's see, another Gonti, so we did catch that correctly. Strike going on to Gonti here, just getting it out of the way. A Clifftop Retreat here, then swinging in for 4 once more, dropping them down to 8. We also have enough mana to reanimate the Adorned Pouncer from the graveyard now, making it a 4/4 double striker, super good for us. And then let's see here, 4 3 mana, another Yahini. We have a Bomat Courier here, and we just have nothing but gas forever and ever. They're at under 5 for the clock here. We're just going to swing in with everybody. They're going to have to block the Adorned Pouncer because that would be game. They're still going to take an additional 5 points of damage, dropping down to 3, which is super nice for us. Probably should have cracked the Courier there, but let's see if they actually just scoop it up here on this turn. Let's see, drawing, yep, and that is it for the match, guys. Very nice. But that is the full 75, folks. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Any suggestions for it? Please let me know in the comments down below. I think the next video coming out as far as the next deck tech will be a mono-white vampire list, so look forward to that. If you want me to cover a deck in the future, please let me know in the comments down below. I will definitely try and get to it as quickly as I possibly can. I know mono-black discard or mono-black control has been a topic of discussion. I feel like we covered that deck list recently, but I'll make sure we did. If not, I'll definitely try and capture a video for that in the near future. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. Like the video if you like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell to get a notification to know when we have a video on the channel. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.